Hey there, Internet. So I reached into the scrap pile, grabbed a few things. This wasn't a scrap, but I bought this a while ago, and it's a pretty amazing little piece of engineering. I mean, this is a very precise ball bearing. But what I want to make is I want to relieve this out so that it nestles on here. And then I'm going to put a little lip here. And then I'm going to thread this portion. And then I'll bore this out so that it screws down on top of there. And what that will end up being is I can kind of put this on top of the bearing and have it pulled into the bearing with a magnet that's mounted inside here, and or maybe even on the inside of this, and then I'll be able to position it at whatever angle I want, and then I can rotate it however I want, and I'll use that to hold PCBs. That's what I'm going to attempt to do, and put this on the lathe and start working on it. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to face this off. It looks to be cast iron. So the idea is the ball sits just on the outer relief. Looks like I gotta go a bit more. So now I'm just gonna go in with this chamfer and try to, hopefully that'll give me enough relief. Yeah, I think that's clear, and it's making the contact that I'm looking for. So, I'm going to put a little, just a small little lip on that, and then thread this. I think I'm going to do a 1mm pitch. Bigger tool, stuff falling off the bench. Well, I got a number stuck in my head that wasn't right. So, whoops. As you might have guessed, the camera died. But I did it somewhat. So, so I've got a magnet in here. It's not, well, of course it's gonna not cooperate. It sticks, it'll rotate, if it's centered in the bearing, should rotate nicely. And then, if I wanna work on a PCB, stick it in the slot, tighten it down. Really hard to do one-handed. That's like, it's in there, it's not going anywhere. I can pretty much position it wherever I want. I think what would be nice if I could make a break for this ball. It wants to rotate pretty freely. If I need to pull on something or push on something, you can see that doesn't really work. But I think I can make some kind of a break for this, so that I can just lock it into position with just like a half turn or something. So yeah, this is inspired by the Heiko. There's a Heiko version, and you know, I really like the Heiko version, but I had these bits of steel sitting around, so I thought I'd use them. I don't know if I like the light knurl that I did. I have to do some finishing work. And you know, the cast iron, I'm not sure. So one of the things I could do is powder coat these and then just like Kapton tape off the threads or something. I made a big mistake. I don't know why I got like 43 in my head and the thing was only 35. So that didn't make any sense. But one of the things I was thinking of doing was tapping this. I could tap this for like 12 millimeter, and then I could even put a little vise with you know, maybe something that fit into here, a little vise on top. That might be interesting. But the other thing that I'm definitely going to do, that's not a maybe I'm going to do, I'm going to make a little plastic. I'm not sure if it's going to be plastic. I might actually make it out of FR4, but a little washer to sit in here so that the clamping is non-marring, and I can just drop that right onto where it is. So yeah, I mean, you know, this thing came off my mill, and I replaced that. And then this was a hole saw cutout that I did for my fourth axis. This is I think this is 1040 steel, and this is cast iron. And then the final thing is the base, and whether or not I want to do like a lock, some kind of it would essentially work kind of like a ball head for a camera. So yeah, that was a fun little project. I think it's I think it could be really handy, especially if I get the base working, done and working. I mean, I could leave it on a roll of scotch tape. That would be one way to do it. Oh, that looks nice. I kind of want to have a little standoff there. So I made some washers out of PCB material, which is kind of serendipitous. So that works pretty good. I don't have a whole lot of thread if I use the 2 washers though, but I think it's okay. So the next thing I'm going to do, I slap this piece of Purple Heart together, and I will attempt to mill it without damaging anything. Oh, this is like an unmitigated disaster. Well, I thought I destroyed my spindle, but I didn't. I threw it on the lathe and gave her a little sanding. Got some issues here. I think I'm just gonna put a little chamfer on there, and then I'm gonna make a little cap for this to hide this issue. So then I'll have all my issues hidden. It's gonna go like this. I'm not even gonna worry about the bearing in here because number one, it doesn't fit, and number two, I actually think I like it better on the other side. Oil and seed oil. Activate. So yeah, that catches the light there. It's just beautiful. So I've got the base done. Got my little cap to hide the ugliness and the holes in here. Put a little piece of cork inside of there to push the magnet a little closer. And a little cap. So what I will do, put that in there. I made this PCB to test these gate-around switches. The footprint library on Easy EDA, it's not really a snap fit in there. So maybe I can, yeah, look at that. That's cool. It definitely holds it securely. It does want to tip a little bit. So there it is. Works decently. I like that I can very easily reposition it. You know, these, if you want to twist it, you have to loosen this thing here, and you can position it around, but it's like if you need to get it down, it's just finicky. So I like it. Here's the biggest issue, I think. Because the flux is an oxidizer, I have a feeling that if I continue to use it, it's going to oxidize the ball bearing here. And I wish I knew of a way to protect this. I think I put some wax on this at one point, but the steel that these are made out of it corrodes pretty easily without a coating of oil. And I think if I put oil in here, number one, it'll be messy, and number two, it may be too slippery. But yeah, I mean, I think I just glue my cap in here and I'm done. It's an interesting, fun little experiment. I think I'll get some use out of it. It's less materials than the Heiko, and I can always take this off and just set it right down on this metal surface here if I want to. It's hefty. It's not going to move around anywhere. It's just a giant fingerprint magnet. That's the only other downside. But it was a fun little project. I had this idea a little while ago, and I'm glad I was able to do the experimentation and get something usable out the other side. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, and thanks for watching.